Okay, I'm gonna do it. It's so spontaneous. Boop.
Pyro Freeze, you heard it here first,
Oh
folks.
god.
Pyro Freeze has changed her name. Um, so the stickers are gorgeous, absolutely. And you drew those. Those aren't photographs.
Correct. Usually I draw them from photographs, but like I'll open up Photoshop and I'll place the image in Photoshop and then I'll do like a trace outline of it, and then sometimes I'll copy the colors over, but still everything is hand drawn. I never like paste a picture
Show
into
it
it.
to me
It's
again.
always
Show it to
all
me one more
hand drawn.
time.
Here's a fox, a gray fox that I did.
And
So
you
like all
drew
those
that.
little lines, yeah, all those little lines are literally me drawing in Photoshop. So
And what's
this
the
is a hand drawn.
what does the black one look like again?
Oh, black one was actually one of my first ones, so there's actually not as much detail as you'd
That is
as I would have
wild.
wanted, but it's still
That
really
is
popular.
wild.
The eyes look really cool. I have a whole bunch of them.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So that's incredible.
thank you.
You are clearly an extremely talented artist, which I know because I literally have your art up on my
Is it
wall.
two? Is it the two pieces,
Yeah,
the Zelda and
I
then
have your abstract piece where you got high with me,
yes? Oh hell
and
yeah!
and I was like, I want you to paint an abstract, and you like didn't paint me an abstract, and I was like, do it better, and you're like, okay, I got this, and then the second piece is the Zelda piece that I commissioned you for.
Yes.
Um, okay, and so your sister had talked to you about how she thinks that you should charge more for your art,
Yeah.
and you were having qualms about that.
Right. So what started the conversation was usually around the holidays, especially this year because I actually so Tamer Ryu used to print and sell not sell them, but send out my stickers for me,
Right.
and I think we both didn't expect that they would be as popular as they are. So it's a lot of work for her,
Yeah.
and so she was like, "Pyro, maybe you should see about getting your own." Printer, your own cutting machine, and then you can do it all yourself. You don't have to wait on me. So
Right.
I finally got my own equipment, and so now, usually around the holidays is when I start advertising my art. A lot of people like to get little things for the holidays. I've had a couple of zookeepers um, get several stickers for their zookeeper friends, and so I posted about it. And my one friend was asking me how much they cost and if it was the same price for a new design versus like an old design, like one of these that I already have.
Right.
And Amanda saw it, and then that's when she had a conversation with her boyfriend, and then
So
convinced me about it.
is it the same price for a new design as it is for one that you've already made?
Yes.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
I see where the conflict is, definitely.
Yeah. 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 And
Okay.
yeah, we'll talk about it more, but that's something I've been thinking about a lot.
For sure. Okay, so I think that there's so many things that I'm excited to tackle in this conversation. So I'm actually and we can still definitely tackle it, but I'm actually much less interested in how much you sell your stickers for,
Okay.
and much more interested in uh, what I had sort of gotten from what you had expressed that was exciting to me is that you're sort of looking to build this like business a little bit more, and you were looking on sort of like some discussion on how you might do that. And so what I would like to do if you would like to do it is to sort of go through like sort of build like an outline of what that
Okay.
might look like today, so that by the end of this you are like, okay, I have some steps that I feel like I can follow, that I feel good about, that then I can go and build my business a little bit.
This went from an interview to therapy.
Isn't that, well, my interviews are always therapy,
I
always
know.
therapy. I don't know.
Just talking with you about anything always became very therapeutic
Totally,
because you always give like your opinion and
yeah.
your ideas, and
and
it's always
what
very
I
therapeutic.
definitely don't want is I don't want you to feel like I am just like putting everything on you, or like it's only my opinion. Like obviously, like this is your business, this is your art. Like you are going to be building this. The way that I see like my job in this discussion is just to sort of like take all the stuff that you're telling me and sort of put it into a structure of like, okay, like I've been doing this for a few years, and I have done a lot of research and things, and so I have some knowledge that others might not have about how to sort of like apply that to like a business structure, and sort of help you put it in that structure. I by no means, and if at any point you start feeling like Sean, you're just like, or I mean Tech, you're just like, you're just hecking running everything, and I have no say. Like, please let me know, because I don't want that to happen. That's really important to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, for sure. And I feel like this is good for me in the end because I haven't really talked to anyone about my goals as opening a business. And I know that you have a lot of financial and money experience, and so there's definitely some things that you could offer me that I feel like Snake, for example, like I can't talk to him about certain things because he's always like, I love him to death. He's just supportive, you know.
Yeah,
He's like willing to do whatever I say, even if it might not be secretly what I'm wanting. So I'm excited to talk about this from a new perspective.
for sure. Yeah, and that's a problem that I run into a lot. Like, I think I talked about it in who was it that I talked with about it? Was it Sharky or Tava? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was talking with somebody in one of the past interviews, and I was like, I love my community to death. They're great, but it's really hard when I like go to them. I'm like, all right, I need some feedback, and they're like, you're just perfect. I'm like,
You're
okay,
amazing. Everything's good.
all
Yeah.
right, I know, I thank you, I love you, but can we please just for a second? So yeah, so I empathize with that. So
Cool.
I'm trying to think exactly how to sort of get started. I think that first, let's just start with sort of the elephant in the room, which is
I
um
have one of those too.
an elephant.
Yeah.
Do you have an elephant sticker with you?
Not. Oh, actually, no, this one's not mine. No, I think I gave it away. But I do have
Ah.
an elephant. I do have an elephant design, but not here.
Okay, so I want to start with the sort of the elephant in the room, which is this sticker situation. So
Yeah.
you do not charge more for a custom request than you do things that you've already done.
That is correct, but can I defend myself?
Please, by all means.
Okay, so a lot of the designs that until recently, now that people are starting to see what I do and realize, oh crap, she's actually pretty talented, I want a custom sticker of my pet. I feel like that's gonna be a different story than what I was doing before, which is, ooh, I want a shark. Like I didn't have a shark design yet, but I want a shark.
Okay.
Can you do that for me? And it's just it's not especially since I work with zookeepers, it's not their shark, it's just a shark.
Right.
And I would charge the same for that because I have so many friends that like sharks. So in the end, it kind of pays itself off.
Sure.
Whereas what's happening now is I have these people that are like, I want a custom sticker of my pet cat.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that cat is going to be very different.
Than
Like
anybody
it's
else's
not
cat.
just a cat.
There's
It's
there's
like
not
their
as
cat.
there's not as much resale value.
Exactly. And I feel like to that extent, I have been thinking maybe I will charge a little bit more for those. But what
But
Amanda is telling me is that I should charge more in general. And I feel like that's not what I'm about.
sure, but this sort of segues very well into one of the things that your sister Amanda brought up, which was that uh, figuring out sort of like what artists get paid is kind of complicated. Like how
Oh,
how
yeah.
to how to compensate for their work. It's the when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about how it's kind of similar to the service industry, where like waiters get paid like way below minimum wage, like atrocious wages, and then tips are supposed to make up for it, which I have problems with anyway, but that's not the purpose of this conversation.
Yeah.
Um, so for you, how long would you say that one making one of these sticker designs typically takes on average? Just like an estimate.
If I had to average all the stickers that I've made so far, I'd say between straight on probably 5 to 10 hours.
5 to 10 hours. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
I'm
So
I'm
I
I'm writing this all down in a notepad.
okay. Cool.
Um,
I want to see it afterwards.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna. That's the idea. Is that I'll take all these notes, and this will be like our outline, and then I'll send it to you after, and you'll be able to like refer back to it if you want.
Cool. That sounds good.
Okay, so 5 to 10 hours. So then
Yeah.
now, because what's cool here is that I actually have like a direct parallel. So my brother has always worked gigs rather than like 9 to 5 jobs,
Yeah.
and because of the nature of gigs, because they're sort of like one time off things, he's able to charge. He's able to like demand way more hourly than he would be able to if it were a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
So for him, accepting something like $15 an hour would be like atrocious. Like he'd be like, I'm not working for $15 an hour. Are you kidding me? But for me, $15 an hour sounds great because I'm there
yeah.
every single day, 9 to 5. So as an artist, you are essentially gigging. You're doing like one-off jobs that don't have a lot of consistency, and so because of that, you have this sort of like right to charge more. So my first sort of question for you is, what would you like to make off of like hourly off of your work, if you could set a value on it, like an ideal hourly rate that you'd like to make?
I feel like so when I was a zookeeper, I was working. I thought it was minimum wage, but apparently it was a little bit more than minimum wage.
Okay.
I ended at only 13.50 as a
13.50.
zookeeper with a 4-year degree. And
And
that kind of
that
ties into
that was a 9 to 5 job,
pricing
right?
pricing later. I wasn't fully full time, but it was eight to
But
five.
it was like you had regular
A
employment.
schedule. Yes,
Yeah, it
exactly.
wasn't like a one-off thing where you might have work one day and not the next, right?
Right, like we definitely had our schedules ahead of time. Sometimes it would be like, okay, there's not as many shows that we're doing today, so you might only work 2 or 3 days,
Okay.
but it was still an hourly rate. So
Mhm.
that's why it was very upsetting to like I loved working there to an extent, but definitely the wage that I had was
Not
uh
satisfactory,
not
especially in
satisfactory. Yeah.
California.
Especially in California. Like for a while, I barely had enough to pay rent
Right.
and utilities. And then like now that I have a new job and much better pay, I can actually like afford to like buy new headphones. I just bought some new bras. I bought a pair of shoes, and like being able to just buy those little things that make life so much easier just makes me so happy.
It's
So
huge, yeah.
yeah, and that
So,
my current job is probably it's salary, so it's a little tricky, but I'd say like 22 to 24 dollars an hour.
okay. So this is really cool. So $22 to $24 an hour is a great sort of like starting point to look at of like, okay, this is what I'm making for an hourly job. Like a job that I'm regularly getting paid for. And what and the hourly wage for a gig job we just established should be higher.
Hmm.
So, if you're making like 22, $23 an hour at this job, what do you think a gig job should look like? Just for like just based off of you, there's no like right answer here. It's just like based off of like what I would like to make given the fact that a gig job should pay higher. And like this is my art. What I Pyro would ideally like to make.
Now I know I tend to undercharge myself. We were talking about that earlier. So I feel like saying between 20 and 20 to 30 an hour in the back of my mind I'm like, "Oh my god, that's so high." But I feel like it's probably not that
It's
high. Like
not.
I
My my
exactly.
my brother would have a hard time accepting something less than $30 an hour.
Yeah.
So, given that, $30 an hour, we're gonna shoot
And
high.
still I'm thinking, "God, that's so much." But in because that's what I've not been charging. I've been charging it's if I make a sticker and I sell this is what Amanda was saying. If I make a sticker and I sell 10 of those, I'm only making $10 an hour, and that's less than livable.
Right.
So it's like obviously I need to make those
I
changes.
love you. You're transitioning so perfectly into everything that I want to talk about. So,
Okay, good.
let's say 10 hours on a sticker, okay, and $30 an hour. That's $300 that you should make per sticker design. Okay?
Okay.
Now let's talk about your I would call them audience, your buyers. So on a sticker, on average, How many stickers do you think you sell of each sticker?
So you would love this. I actually made an Excel sheet for it.
Yes.
So let me pull it up
Yes.
because I just updated it so I can actually see where we're at. I can tell you which sticker was actually the most popular so far and what size the sticker because I can customize the size.
Okay.
And then I even have like who bought it and like my average. I don't have my average, but I can very easily
Yeah,
do it.
Excel can just pop that
I
out.
love Excel. I use it for work all the time, but I
Yeah.
can find out the average of my sales, which I think I should really do. Okay, so my most popular sticker is actually my Fennec Fox.
Okay.
So I have it. No, not that one. This one.
Okay.
Okay. No, this isn't updated. I'm gonna have to explain something real quick. But I've sold 9 3-inch stickers and 1 5-inch sticker.
So 10 stickers.
But that, yeah, but
For your most popular sticker.
well, that's okay. No, that's not accurate. Okay, if I go back, my rainbow trout sticker, even though it's I don't know, I'd have to do the math, but I've sold 5 1-inch, 5 2-inch, 1 3-inch, 2 4-inch, 2 5-inch, and 4 8-inch stickers.
How many is
So
that?
I feel like
I didn't count.
I didn't count either.
Okay.
I can do the math real quick. As 19 stickers.
19 stickers. Ooh, big difference. Big difference.
Big
So
difference. Yeah.
that's actually a better selling sticker. Even
It is,
different sizes.
But yeah, 10 of them were for one person who bought them in 1 and 2-inch stickers, which is definitely going to change the cost. Now, another thing that I did was, did you see my vulture stickers?
Not enough to be
3
able to like
birds?
reference them.
Okay, so I did 3 vulture stickers for one person. He wanted 3 designs. It was for a vulture conservation fundraiser that they were having. They do them every year, and he was reaching out to artists, and he saw my stickers, and he was like, "Can you get me 3 designs, and give me I think he originally wanted. What did he want? I think he wanted 300 stickers." Of those 3 designs, so 100 of each.
Wow.
And the price I quoted him, because it's only 3 designs, so that will take a bit of time, but then once that work is done, it's just the cost of materials and shipping where the big cost comes from.
I mean labor to do all those things, to like ship and print and all that.
And that's the thing that's something I actually haven't considered is Tamer did all of that,
right.
And she never once asked for a portion of any of it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As much as
that's
I wanted
amazing.
to give
That's
it to
so
her.
generous.
Yeah, I know. I was like, please let me help you out. She's like, no. I said I was going to do this. You don't have to worry about it. So that's something that I have to kind of take on.
Right.
But the price I wanted to settle on was $500 for all 3 designs and 300 stickers, which technically is $10. Is definitely not $10 a sticker, but it covered all the work that I put in, and it was going towards a fundraiser. So it was like,
yeah,
like. I wanted to be generous to an extent.
Yeah.
But that was way off of his budget. Because he buys art from these artists, and they bought like over 200 pieces of art. So he was like, I can't do all that. And what he was going to do was include a sticker in everybody's like winnings if they got their raffle call.
Yeah.
So we settled for 150 stickers. No, I'm sorry, 50 stickers total. So like I think it was like 17, 17, and 18 or something like that. Plus, I designed their Instagram logo, Instagram and Facebook logo. You can see that as well for just $150.
Okay.
So still covered a little bit of the design work, but then it's basically that'd be like $50 a design, plus the free stickers and a free logo. So it's like it's still not that much.
For sure.
But that's like my biggest order is at $150.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So this is transitioning really well into one of the parts that I was most curious about, which is that, like, do you have a place where you are like sort of collecting customers is the best way that I can think to put it. Like, do you have a place where like at any time you can like reach out to your customers and be like, hey everybody, like here's what I'm doing?
Not personally. Like, I do definitely have my Instagram and Facebook pages where I haven't shared it. I haven't made anything in a while, so I haven't gotten a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
but where I got most of my orders originally uh, was right when COVID hit and I lost my job. I shared that I was making stickers to help
Right.
out um, on a zookeepers page called Zoo Creepers.
Okay.
Um, and normally that kind of post wasn't allowed, but they were like, okay, we understand, everyone's kind of struggling right now.
Yeah.
And I got so many messages
Yeah.
after sharing a couple pieces and sharing my prices and stuff. I got so many people in the same field that were interested, and so I think that really helped.
Yeah.
I think I made a total. I think without this person, this $150 purchase, I think I could total it right now, but probably $250, $300
Okay.
just from that.
Okay. So here's where I'm going to start. Here's sort of like my first like official piece of advice
Okay.
is create a home for your content. Okay. Um, Regardless of if you're a content creator or not, which in your case you are, and your stream is a big asset that you can sort of like use to continue to create this home. Whatever that space is, whether it's like a Facebook group, a Discord, um, a newsletter, whatever that space is, create a home where at any time, just like you see, I sort of have like I've sort of created like as many as I possibly can. At any time, I can be like, "Hey, everybody, here's what I'm doing. Don't you want to engage with it?" I think you need a place like that,
Right.
because the most important, the hardest part of being an artist or a content creator or whatever, content creators are artists. Hardest part about being an artist is the lack of consistency, the lack of like
Oh yeah.
consistent income, right? And so the way that you sort of like uh, fight against that is by creating that for yourself. And Patreon is a great example of a way to do that because it's a subscription platform. But
Yeah.
even without that, before we even get to that, just creating a space where you can reach out to past customers to say, "Hey, past customer who bought my stuff before, I'm making more stuff. Would you like some more?" Because in any business, acquisition is the hardest part, and it's the part that you have to invest the most resources into. Is getting new people in. Like all websites do this. All websites, they're like number one thing that they're always trying to do is get new people in because it's so heckin' hard.
Right.
So what right now what's happening for you is like you're getting these new customers, but then they have nowhere to sort of stay so that you can continue to access them, and
Yeah.
it's making it harder for you essentially. So that would be my first piece of advice: create a home, whatever feels comfortable for you, Facebook group, Discord, etc. Create a home for your content. And again, you don't have to. I mean, you can if you want, but you don't have to because I'm going to send all this to you after. Um, so yeah, so create a home for your content. Uh, Next, before we talk about anything else, uh, if there's one thing that I want you to like take away from this discussion, it's to check out Eyes of Ashes. And this is not just me selling out Eyes of
I
Ashes. I love Eyes of
Uh
Ashes,
huh. Uh
and I will absolutely sell her out. But
huh.
the reason that I am saying check out Eyes of Ashes is because she has
Like
a
her
lot,
her stream.
her everything.
Okay.
Because you and her have a lot of parallels.
Right.
You are both amazing artists. You are both gamer girls. And this is how she makes a living, is by doing her art. And she has done an incredible job. Her home that she's made for her content, again, she's made multiple, but I think that even she would agree that her sort of main hub is her Discord, and she runs the best Discord I've ever seen. It's way better than mine. Um uh and like you know like uh regardless of like if people, like certain people like it, certain people don't. The fact is it's very successful. So, the other thing is that you had mentioned to me like I'm interested in like maybe setting up a Patreon or doing something with my Patreon, but like I don't know like what to offer, blah blah blah. She has a Patreon. She's an artist. Great examples of things that you could offer.
Okay.
So check out Eyes of Ashes. one of the other things that I want to talk to you about in terms of your like sticker prices is that, like I said, the regular income is one of the most important thing for artists to sort of attain, and that's why like streamers push subscriptions so hard, is because it's just like the best way to support content creators, period. So that being said, because you don't like to charge a lot, you can use subscriptions as a way to give people discounts, to charge less while still making it advantageous for you. Because obviously if the income is consistent, it's more valuable than if it's not. So you charge more when it's not consistent and you charge less when it is. So you could have, for example, a Patreon tier that says, it's $15 a month, but in exchange you get, I don't know, you get like a sticker request once every 3 months or something that I'll do for you. Or like Ash has, I think, so I'm at the $10 tier of her Patreon, and she sends out a custom print that she does for everybody each month. But again, like it's not individual. It's one print for all of her patrons.
Right. I feel like doing like a custom sticker every 3 months, depending on how many Patreons I had,
Right.
that could get very overwhelming.
Right, right,
It's,
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
whole bunch of
and
different
that's
things.
great. That's great that you're already thinking about scalability, because that's important. Um, so I want to like pause for a second because I have all sorts of things running around in my head, but I want to pause for a second and ask like what's going on in your head. What are you thinking about right now? Are there any like questions jumping out at you or anything?
Well, so like I feel like I'm already kind of halfway there in terms of having a home. Like I've definitely wanted to start a Discord, but I think I was thinking about it in terms of for my stream, and I
Hmm.
feel, are we gonna get to like my stream
Absolutely,
aspect? Okay,
absolutely.
because I feel like that would probably clear some things up, because like I do have a home. I do have my Instagram and my Facebook page, they're linked, so anytime I send to one, it goes to the other one. I also have a Twitter as well. I don't even know how to use Twitter. I don't really get it. I have like 14 followers and they're like just my friends,
Mm,
but I know that that can be a really big help as well because of the whole like retweet aspect. So I'd love to invest some more in that. So I feel like, and then like like I'm part of Zoo Creepers, and I'm not even a zookeeper anymore, but I know that like those are the people that are most interested. Like I definitely have my friends that are interested, but like it's these strangers that are like, wow, I like your art, I want to buy it and support you. So I'm part of Zookeepers, a page called Keeper Creations. You're a zookeeper when, and like all these different, even one that's just for like ecology memes that is a really popular page. So it's like I feel like I have a good start on um, getting an audience. But then yeah,
for sure.
keeping that audience, I'd have to divert back to, make sure you follow me, that kind of
For
stuff.
sure. For sure. Cool. So let's talk about your stream for a second. So
Okay.
I think that there's a few things here, but the one that I really want to touch on, this question always comes up in like every interview I do, is like, in terms of all of this, everything that we're talking about, your stream, your sticker business, your art, just everything, like what does a sort of like ideal situation look like for you? Where let's say like you achieve all your goals, you like you get to where you want to be. What does that look like as an artist content creator for you?
That's a good question. Um, I don't know if I'd ever want to be an artist full time.
Okay.
Like be making so much that, I could quit my job and stuff, because I know that, I guess depending on the person, but I know that that can kind of uh, spoil the passion for
Hmm.
making art, is when you have to start making it as a career.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's, I think, one reason why I didn't want to charge too much of my prices, was because I wasn't, until that whole COVID situation, I wasn't really making art for the sake of making money. I was making art because I liked making the stickers. First off, I made them because of an art challenge that Tamer did, and I had made a random draft sticker design, not expecting to have a design an actual sticker business because of it, but it kind of just like sparked the passion for it.
Yeah.
Um, but I just liked making stickers and having my art out there. And if it got back to people wanting to buy my art, then that was like a side success, you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
it's like I just like making art just to make art and like get my name out there, but not for the sake of being rich from it.
For sure. For sure. So, um,
Hold on. Bert's yelling at me.
okay.
Yes. We got
Everything
a new
okay?
air. Yeah, we got an air fryer, so he asked if I wanted pizza rolls.
Ooh, yummy.
We haven't tried the air fryer yet, so I'm very excited.
Pizza rolls in the air fryer. Are they like
Yeah,
homemade pizza
healthy.
rolls?
Nope, it's Totino's.
Okay, okay. All right. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully they taste good.
okay, so here's where we really get into the like nitty-gritty therapy part, which is that we had sort of stumbled upon in our discussion together in Discord before we decided to do the interview that a large, well, maybe not a large, but at least a piece of this, there's some piece of this that has to do with confidence. Some piece of this that has to do with like, well, like the artists that charge a lot, like they're they're on like a different level. But like Pyro,
Okay,
I can't tell that that's not a photograph. Like
yeah.
I just want you to recognize that you are an incredible artist. Like you do incredible work. And as an incredible artist, regardless of if you want to get rich off of it or not, you deserve to be compensated for that, you know? And there are different ways to do that. Like there are amazing street musicians that play for everyone to hear for free. And the way that they make their money is by people who are generous, who come along and say, you know what, this is worth an incredible amount of money. I'm gonna compensate you for it because you deserve it. So like, there's different ways to go about it, and then there are like Elton Johns or whatever that host like huge concerts and sell billions of records and all that sort of thing. So like, there are different ways to go about it, but the point is that money is not just like money has a really bad stigma in our society of like it's just something to like get power, or it's something to like you're greedy if you get a lot of money. Like money is not just that. Money is a symbol in our society for value. It's saying, hey, so that we don't have to go through the rigmarole of saying like, okay, like what is this worth for
Wait, through the what?
rigmarole?
I've never heard of that.
through the all the complicatedness of saying like, okay, like what is this worth to you? Okay, well I don't have that, so I'll go to somebody else and get this to get that, so that we don't have to go through all that. We just say, okay, this is worth this much. We all agree that this is worth this much. So here's this. So when you make money off of your art, it's not just like you like getting rich off of it. It's also somebody saying like, hey, I really think that your art has value, and I'm showing it through money, because that's a really good way to show it.
Yeah.
And I think that there are things, I'm gonna write this one down for you. There are things you had talked about, like, well, I just like doing it for exposure. Like, I think exposure is really important, and it is, because like what's called, I learned this term from Devin Nash, who I'm obsessed with. You'll hear me talk about him nonstop. There's a term called earned media, which there's two terms. There's paid media and earned media. Paid media is running ads and things like that. Earned media is just organic, people finding you organically, or you reaching out to people organically. And that can be incredibly valuable, because obviously if somebody is paying you a bunch of money, but they are the only person that you have, eventually they're gonna like run dry, right? Whereas if the more you can get your name out there, but there are certain things that I think are better to use for that, to sort of like trade for exposure. And then there are certain things that I think are better to trade for money. And I think that your art is definitely something that you should trade for money, not exposure, because you can't pay the bills with exposure.
Right.
Um, what I do think are great things to trade for exposure are things like education assets. So like if you started making like art tutorials or like doing art tutorials on your stream, I think that that would be great as a free asset for people. Resources. So like
Can you write these down?
yes. Okay, so hold on. Things to trade for exposure. Like art tutorial. I'll just say educational resources or education,
Okay.
like art tutorials, and then resources like if you one of the things that we had talked about previously is that for your brand, one of the things that I saw that I sort of thought of that I was really excited about, as sort of like a suggestion to offer you, was you helping to educate people about stigmatized animals that are actually really cool and have lots of really cool things about them, but they never get everyone just like ews them because they're kind of scary and like there's a stigma around them in our society. And so if you like put together like a spreadsheet of like hey, here's some animals, here are some like myths about them, and here are like the like debunks to those myths. Like if
Right.
you put together like a an article or a spreadsheet or whatever, and you just like put that out in the world, I think that's an amazing thing to trade for exposure. And it helps to promote your brand. It helps to tell people what you're all about. Um,
That kind of aside of that, like that's something I've been wanting to do. I just haven't gotten around to it.
yeah.
Is uh I've had ideas for like different series of stickers. So like taking the time instead of taking commissions or anything like that, just making 5 to 10 stickers of my choice
Mm-hmm.
and having it evolve around a theme. So at first I wanted to do an endangered animal, one for each letter of the alphabet or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings exposure to that animal and why we needed to save it. So it's
Yeah.
bringing in a whole conservation aspect to it. I've wanted to the vulture stickers, since it was like vulture donation or like a awareness week, the one week that I
Mm-hmm.
made them. Anyone else that buys one of those stickers, I donate proceeds towards
Yep.
that, so people feel like they're making a difference.
Yep.
I wanted to do a whole series on like the weird creepy crawlies, like just bugs and stuff. I haven't done any insects or arthropods, and it's something I really really want to
Yeah.
do. And then what I would do on my Instagram when I worked at the center is I'd post pictures of the animals I worked with and include um, a couple facts about them, and it just kind of brings in some more of that exposure. But I feel like I could totally do the same thing with a sticker, like have a sticker of a type of tarantula and be like, this is this kind of species and they're known for doing this, and then it kind of ties into my love for art with my love for animals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something else I want to bring up in the whole stream
Yeah. Yeah. So,
topic.
and I was, God, we're
Am I reading your
connected.
mind?
We're connected in the mind. So that's what I was going to talk about is that um, you have, without even knowing it, I don't think, have sort of very clearly defined what your target market is, which is great. And the reason that target market is so important is because um, a lot of people, when they're first starting out any sort of business, they think like, I need to be able to sell to I need to make my product as sellable as possible. It needs to be able to sell to anybody. And that makes sense when you say it like that. But it's actually wrong. It actually doesn't work. When you
It's very
first
hard to sell to everyone.
Exactly. When you first start out, you want to sell to as specific a market as possible so that that market floods you. So that that market just starts buying up all your stuff like crazy. And then from there, you can expand out.
Mm.
So your target market is heckin' animal geeks, is heckin' like zookeepers and like all that jet like just and you're already doing a great job of like getting like Facebook groups and like networking with those people. So now what you want to do is you want to like, without being gross or sleazy about it, is you want to start taking all of those people from all those different places, your job, the Facebook groups, grabbing all those people and putting them into whatever home you're building, which your Discord could be a great place for. And in terms of incorporating it with your stream, you also like playing video games. But one of the things that streamers are just naturals at, like Charity Industries cannot believe how well streamers raise money for charity, because
Yeah.
they're just it just like Games Done Quick is insane. It's absolutely
Oh yeah.
insane. And it just sort of seems effortless to streamers. Like they just do it. So I think that it's a perfect way to sort of integrate the two, is you play video games but to raise money for animals. And so then what happens is all of a sudden all of those people, it's called your passive audience. So the idea is, again, this is Devin Nash. The idea is that the people who are actually watching you are actually only a tiny portion of your audience, your active audience, okay? And those are the people that are going to be there no matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter. They just love you and they will be there for you no matter what. And they're great. And we love those people. And then there's your passive audience. And there's probably like actually a few layers of this, but to make it simple, we'll just say two. Then there's your passive audience, which is people that know about your content and are ready to engage in your content when something interesting enough comes around. So the idea is...
Like a charity.
Right, exactly. So the idea is when you're like playing video games or whatever, all of your passive audience is like, I don't need to check that out. She's just playing video games, whatever. But then when you do like a charity stream for animals, all of a sudden you activate that passive audience and you start to grow. You start to see growth. And the idea is to sort of like try to retain as many of those people as you can. So like you sort of have to trick people into thinking, like they see you playing video games and they're like, I'm not going to be interested in that. That's not going to be that entertaining. But then when they're activated by whatever event you're doing or whatever, they come into your stream and they're like, this is still really entertaining even without the animal stuff. I don't even need it. I just like being here. And then they stick around. And that's how you funnel people into your community.
Yeah.
So I'm going to write this down. Charity, use animal charity to integrate animal geeks into streaming community. And also, go ahead.
No, continue. Don't lose your train of thought.
No, you first. I've been talking
Okay.
for forever.
No, I was just gonna say, like, do you think so kind of back to streaming, and I know we'll get to it later on, but like, since we're talking about it right now.
This is good.
Oh shoot, what
oh no!
I was just thinking how to phrase it. So, okay, my stream, like, I know I watched your interview with is it Adjmas? Okay, so Snake was like, it's ADJ Mass. I was like, I don't think that's correct.
His actual name is AJ, and he goes by Adjmas, like adjective and then mass.
Okay.
Adjmas.
Yeah. Adjmas. That's what I would have said. But Snake was like, no, it's ADJ Mass. I'm like, that sounds way too complicated. But I was watching your interview with him, and I know you tend to start, when you talk about streaming, you talk about like your goals of your stream, like just kind of your basic goals. And I was thinking, like, is this what the interview's gonna be like? So I was thinking about all my answers as stream related stuff.
And then we haven't talked about stream at all. You're like, I wasn't prepared for this.
And now I'm forgetting what I wanted to ask. But so I've been thinking about like what my goals for stream are, and like I don't know if I want to keep video games as like a priority. Like, I would love to do more art streams, of course, and being able to just do like just chatting streams where we just talk about like animals and like ecology and stuff, and it becomes more of a like educational thing. I feel like that's like what I would love to do, is because being a zookeeper in the past and just having a love for education, being able to like just teach people about animals just makes me so happy, and I would love to keep that as part of stream. So my question is, do you think personally Twitch is an okay place to do that, because I know Twitch is very gamer based.
So it's a slightly complicated answer, but first of all, it's a fantastic instinct. It's great that you have that instinct. And the reason why is because if you are looking to grow on Twitch, which sounds like you are, if you are looking to grow on Twitch, you cannot just stream on Twitch. It won't work. You will fail. You cannot just stream on Twitch. What? Again, this is Devin Nash. I
don't know who he is. I'll have to look him up.
He's incredible asset. I've grown so much just in the past couple of months just from watching his stuff. What you have to do is, and this is true for branding in general, is you can't just like start your stream, and we talked about this a little bit during one of my streams. You can't just like start your stream and play video games. You actually have to sort of build a cult. You have to build a belief system around what you're doing that people can rally behind. Because again, that like ultimately that's what's gonna activate people. That's what's gonna like keep people around. That's what's gonna keep people engaged.
It's basically what everyone else has said. You know, you have to build a community.
Right, and that community is centered around an idea, or ideas, beliefs, a belief system. So what you do is you have that on your stream, and it's sort of on stream because it's live, just the nature of it, it's sort of like spaced out. It's sort of here and there, and it's a little unfocused because it's not like processed, you know, like it's raw. It's not like a refined product. Mm-hmm. So then what you do is you start like a YouTube or a blog, do a YouTube, and a blog, because you'll have a Patreon, but YouTube is probably the most important one. And you take the different parts that were unrefined on your stream, and you sort of collect them together, and you make them a refined product on YouTube. And that's what your YouTube is for. Your YouTube is for showing that exactly what your message is to everybody. Mm-hmm. In a more distilled, refined way than you can on your stream.
Right,
so
in like a 4 or 5 hour streaming period. You know,
exactly.
It's like clips, basically.
Right. And so what you're talking about is perfect, because one, talking about animals on Twitch is not something that's done a lot. And a fantastic quote that is not by Devin Nash, but I heard it from Devin Nash.
Oh, darn.
I
don't want to hear it then.
I know. If it's not by Devin Nash, it's not even worth it. But he says it all the time. Is that if you want to be an anomaly, you have to act like one. And in order to be successful in this industry, because it is so competitive and so saturated, you have to be an anomaly. You have to be different. So the fact that you want to talk about animals and that's not something that's done a whole lot on Twitch is actually a great thing. And then the really important piece is that you make sure that you take that narrative and you distill it and show it off beautifully over on your YouTube and your blog and whatever other platforms that you can, because the reason that it's so important to do it on other platforms and not Twitch is because Twitch is not a discoverability platform. Neither is Patreon. So the distinction is, I like illustrating it with Patreon because it just seems a little bit easier. With Patreon is a place to go with a community that you already have and sort of activate that community into like monetizing your content essentially and creating like a membership platform. It is not a place like YouTube or Twitter where you're able really to get discovered. Like you can't like go on Patreon, like build a career.
Hold on. Yeah. What? Okay.
You all good?
Sorry. Yeah. He said they're very crunchy and very hot.
Oh, good. So build your brand on discoverability platforms.
Yeah, like I said, I have that Twitter.
Mainly YouTube.
Yeah, I don't have
Also,
any.
Twitter is a really good one. Twitter is a really good one, especially for streamers.
Okay.
You already have, and it's good that you have this because a lot of streamers are sleeping on this. You already have a Facebook that it seems like you're fairly active on. Like you're fairly you actually do stuff with it, and you actually have like friends and family and stuff. And
Yeah, I think on my Facebook, so my Instagram, I think I have over 400 followers. My Facebook, I have.
you have more Instagram followers than I do.
It's been around for a while. Oh my gosh, my Facebook, I have 328 people that
Yeah.
like it, but I have 335 people that follow it. So somehow an extra 7 people still follow it, but they haven't liked it. So I feel like I'm doing okay on that.
Totally.
And one thing I like about Facebook, I don't know, because you're pretty new to having a Facebook page for your.
I mean, I've had many Facebook pages. I've just deleted most of them. But go ahead.
Okay, but one thing I like about having a Facebook page that's as a business page and not just like your own
Personal.
an account is how it includes how many people a post has reached, how many engagements it's had.
Totally.
There's like all these like extra stats that you can use to see how it's doing, and I love that aspect. Like I have had a 395% uptake in reaching people in just the last month or so, probably because of my post about um, doing art for the holidays and stuff. So I
Yeah.
like being able to see that because it gives you instant gratification knowing that your posts are getting seen.
Yeah.
But then you can kind of work from there, kind of like what Twitch does. Like when you finish streaming, you can see like all your little stats and stuff.
Yep. And I'm a total stat slut as well, so I
I
totally
like it a lot. Yep.
I totally relate to that. What was I gonna say? And
You gotta have
don't
Facebook.
undermine your personal Facebook. Don't throw that away, because when you're first starting out like you are, your family and friends are the first people who are really going to engage with your content. So don't be shy about reaching out to them and being like, "Hey, like I'm trying to get this thing started. Like if you could just like, like for streaming, if you could just like open a window and just leave it up, that would help me out tremendously. You can like mute it or whatever. But it would really help me out if you would do that. Because you already have that sort of Facebook community, it's a good place to tap. I don't really have that because I never had personal social networks. The only reason I ever used social networks was for stream. I never had personal social networks before that, which is kind of a bummer, but also like I kind of like feel cool and like hipstery because of it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like I never had a MySpace account.
I did have a MySpace. I loved MySpace, and then it got lame, and just turned into Facebook, and then I was done with it. And then Facebook was terrible. I've always hated Facebook.
Facebook's okay. I just see ad after ad now.
Yeah. So, there's a lot here. But the big takeaways that I want you to look at here, and if you want to talk about more stuff, we totally can. I just like I'm sort of summarizing for myself so I can see what we have here. The big takeaways are: create a home for your content, that you can regularly reach out to people. Check out Eyes of Ashes and check out the path that she's taken, because she's going to give you ideas for how to build that home. I've never seen anyone else do it like her. It's incredible. She's going to give you ideas for how to build that home. She's going to give you ideas for how to build your Patreon. One thing that I would say that Eyes of Ashes doesn't do that I think that you should do, just because it's different markets, slightly different markets, is use your Patreon more like a blog. Eyes of Ashes just sort of like posts her art up there all the time, which is great. But for you have this whole piece about, like normalizing stigmatized animals and things like that. And so it's a great place to write about that and just get your thoughts out about that. Okay, so create content. Check out Eyes of Ashes. I think those are like the biggest 2 points. I have other notes here of like details about that. But I think that if you just do those two things and sort of like take action based on like what you what you learned from Eyes of Ashes. And if you have any questions about it, let me know. I think that you'll really see an uptick in your business, and I think that you'll be able to start like making it more of like a consistent business rather than like, oh, I sell stickers sometimes, you know.
Yeah. I do have an Etsy too that I've been wanting to do, and that'll kind of bring it back into like homemade, supporting local artist stuff. What?
Eyes of Ashes also has an Etsy.
There you go. Well, I've had mine. I just haven't used it in a while.
Yeah,
But I feel like it's another really good way to kind of get your name there.
absolutely, absolutely. It's a great marketplace. Great marketplace. Um, any other questions? Anything that we didn't talk that you really want to talk about?
Yes.
Okay.
And it kind of goes back to the why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Back to like the sticker business itself and like my prices and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, can you understand why I was hesitant towards what Amanda was saying about charging so much for my prices? Um, for like, okay, I get the whole like doing a custom design. I feel like that should definitely um, be charged higher because it's putting in that much more work for a sticker that's not going to sell very well. But like, what if back to like that whole like if someone's just asking for a shark sticker and I just make a shark sticker and then they buy it, but then 10 other people buy it. Like, do you like am I supposed to charge $20 to $30 a sticker? Because that's what she's making it sound like it should be, and that's not something that I'd wanted to do. But like, you don't know how much a sticker is going to sell, like per like you don't know how many people are going to buy a sticker until it's actually sells. So how can I charge a certain price?
One of the reasons that I focused on sort of like the like structuring of your business before we got to this is because I think that it's going to get a lot easier when your business has more of a structure. Right now, because it's very sort of like free form and sort of like in the ethos, it is much harder. But once and I mean, you already have some stats, which is really good. But the more information that you can get, the more informed of a decision you'll be able to make. So like, for instance, Amazon will take products that it sees are selling super well, and Amazon has talked about this publicly. It's ridiculous. They'll take products that they see are selling really well, and then they will list their product right under it and purposefully list it for just a little bit less because they know that people are just going to buy that, and they're gonna undersell their competition, and they're gonna like wipe out the competition, take over the world. So that being said, the point of saying that is that the more data you have, the more informed of a decision you're going to be able to make about what to list your stickers for. Right now, it seems like you're probably selling like what, like 5 to 20 stickers per sticker. Does that sound right ish?
5 to 20 per sticker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see
So
that.
I would say you price it at, assuming that you're going to sell an average of 10 stickers. Some you might take a loss on, some you might make a little bit extra on. And you price it based on how many stickers on average you think you'll sell. So if you're going to sell 10 stickers and you think that a good number is like $30 an hour and it takes you 10 hours, then that whatever that math is that I just blanked on.
What, the $300 one?
So if you should be, oh yeah, so okay, so it'd be $300 total, right, that you would charge for your sticker creation process. And so then if you divide that by 10, is that right? It'd be $30 per sticker. Is that right? Did I do that right?
Because it's 10 hours.
10
$30
hours,
an hour.
$30 an hour, $300
It's
total. You
$30 per
sell
sticker.
about $30 a sticker.
But do you think people are actually going to buy that? Because that's not like people don't buy stickers for. I mean, they buy it because they're cute and all, but they buy it because they're affordable.
They buy
You know,
stickers because they're affordable.
like it's a. I mean, yeah, kind of like my zookeepers, who also make, between $7 and $13
Zookeepers who
an
make
hour
crap
if
money,
they're
which is your target
exactly
market.
exactly. At least for now, it's like being able to that's why they'll be able to buy several stickers for their whole family or for their zookeeper friends because they know that they're affordable. But if I charge $30 an hour, and that's either going to lose a customer or I'm only going to sell one sticker instead of
This can't be
someone
right.
going
I'm
in.
doing my math wrong.
I don't think you're.
I'm doing my math wrong. I know I'm
I
doing
don't
my
think
math wrong.
so.
No, I know I'm doing my math wrong because if you're charging $30 an hour and you're going to sell, we're doing it backwards. If you're charging $30 an hour and you're going to sell 10 stickers, it's $3 a sticker. Because
No,
then
we said it would take 10 hours though. So that goes back. So it brings it up to a $300 order, and then to sell 10 stickers would be $30 a sticker.
you're right.
We were right.
You're right. Yeah. So
So it's like I just don't like. Yes, I would love to be able to make more money if it's warranted, but at the same time, it's like a $10 sticker is not that cheap compared to what I've seen on, like, I've gone to Etsy and I looked up sticker prices, and for the same price or for the same size of decent quality, people will sell for like $5 or $6 or even cheaper, like the sticker sheets of like 10 stickers for like $5. So it's like I feel like, yes, it takes me a while to make these pieces of art, but like I feel like the price is more, not totally accurately representing that, but
so $10 a
I'm
sticker.
losing my confidence.
So $10 a sticker, and you sell an average of 10 stickers. You make $100 for about 10 hours worth of work.
Yeah, so $10 an hour.
So you're making $10 an hour in California.
Like I know that's not affordable, but I feel like bumping it up to 3 times that amount is also not realistic.
Yeah, we might be able to settle somewhere in the middle, because I think there's a couple of different options. The first is finding sort of like a middle ground of like what you think people will buy and what you're willing to accept. And then the other option is like maybe stickers aren't the best option. Like I can tell you, because basically what you're selling is merch. And I can tell you that the best selling pieces of merchandise, just statistically, are mugs and t-shirts. Because people love drinking coffee, and then t-shirts just because like people, I don't know why people like t-shirts, but they like t-shirts. So maybe, because like if you sell, if it like on Teespring, a t-shirt runs for like $24.99, I think. And so then, it's just like asking yourself, like, what's better? Is it better to sort of like find a middle ground, or is it better to like maybe stickers aren't the best option of things that I could sell?
Well, don't tell me that, because I just bought a sticker cutting machine.
You just bought so we're definitely selling stickers.
For a while, yes.
Definitely selling stickers. So then, go ahead.
Here's an idea I kind of just randomly had. I know, like, I'd probably still have to change the prices in general, but what if I almost stop offering to sell them at smaller prices, at smaller sizes, aka smaller prices? Then at least it would, like, if someone requests a sticker, but then they only request a 3-inch sticker, which I sell for $6, then that's even less money. But if I don't even offer to sell them at a smaller size, then they have no choice but to order the bigger one and spend more. I don't know.
That seems like a good idea. It's
like
tough.
The rainbow trout sticker that I sold 19 of, 10 of those were 2 inches and under, which is hella cheap. That's like almost like $10 just total.
Yeah.
So it's like that's even less.
So, the financial guy that I really like, his name is Ramit. It's not Devin Nash. He talks about how there's sort of like 3 ways that you can like choose prices. One is to look at what everyone else is doing. 2 is to take like the ideal number that you would want to be making per year and chop 2 zeros off of it, and that's your hourly rate. Or 3, and this is the one that I think might be interesting for you, is to look at your what's the word? I can't think of the word. This is not the right word, but I think it'll get the point across. Like your begrudgment rate, which is like at what rate hourly, or like how much would it be you making that you would feel bitter about making your art for that little money, and then you double it is basically what he talks about.
Okay.
So think for yourself, just think about, if I were making this little for every sticker that I made, what is the lowest number that I would be okay with? And then whatever that is, double it. And that you could try that as your rate. Because like starting out, it is going to be harder, because the cool thing about stickers is that, like you said, you can make multiple of them. You only have to put in that hourly work once. So once you grow your audience and you can start selling these more regularly, you can start making more money. So like when you're selling 20 stickers average, it's going to be a lot easier to make your money, like make whatever hourly rate you want, because you have more people buying. But because you're just starting out and the number of stickers that you're selling is low, it's harder. Also, selling merch is heckin' hard. I really struggle selling merch. I don't make a lot selling merch. It's tough. And we'll see. I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what happens in terms of your monetization when you start streaming on Twitch, because I think that if you choose to, I should include this. If you choose to, I think a really good route for you to go is to start making emotes. Emotes.
Yeah, that's something I've been wanting to do. Like, did you see my jumping spider emote that
Yeah.
I made for my own channel? Yeah, I did that on stream already, and it was something that I was even almost inspired to turn into a sticker. And that's one thing. Yeah, I would totally love to do emotes, whether it was for myself or for fellow friends, things like that. Because then, and this was totally like long term because of COVID, but having that now business relationship with other streamers by making their emotes, now I can also say, hey, I'll give you 70 stickers to give to your followers and people you meet at TwitchCon or something like that, and then have that whole like side revenue way off in the future. But
Totally.
I was totally thinking about stuff like that.
Yeah, and not only that, not only like that business relationship, being able to, sort of what I was talking about before, which is like being able to like tap that market again, but also the fact that from my experience watching Ash and other artists that do emotes for people, it breeds a kind of loyalty that I don't see anywhere else, where streamers will come around your streams and hang out and participate in your community simply because you made their emotes, because it's a really big deal. I mean, emotes are a big part of brand identity. So the sort of the kind of retention that Ash has gotten from people that she has made emotes for, it's a large part of her community. A large part of her community are people that she has done art for, and therefore they're around, and they stick around and often contribute very, very generous amounts outside of even the art that they hire her for. So that's a huge asset. So I would definitely look at starting to make emotes for people. And just so you know, that little tiny 25 by 25 emote, like the going rate for like a lot of professionals is $50 an emote.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
because then you use it literally everywhere.
Right. So
do you know?
Go ahead.
Maybe I'll have to ask her, because I think I still follow her on Twitch. What's the best way to find out if people need emotes?
Twitter.
But like, do you just
literally just go to Twitter and like type in like
right
start like composing a tweet and say like, hey, I'm an artist. I'm looking to make some people some emotes. Any Twitch affiliates, in need of some emotes? Here's my portfolio, and send like a picture of like, send like a link of like different pieces of art that you've done, show some emotes that you've done, and and I bet you'll get hits. And if you don't, you can just like look around, like search like Twitch emotes on Twitter, and just see, like, I'm sure that there are people on Twitter right now who are like, I need a Twitch artist or emote artist. Is there anyone out there who's willing to just know that you're gonna get a lot of time wasters. A lot of people are gonna be like, I will pay you an exposure because I have 45 followers, and you'll be like, actually, tech taught me better than that. I don't pay my bills with exposure.
No, no. Would you recommend, since we talked about just time wasters, would I get paid first and then do the emote,
Yeah.
or do like half now, half at the end, or
No, they pay you up front.
pull the pay up front? Okay. Yeah, I would love to do emotes. One thing that has always kind of scared me about doing that and doing more, I guess like commissions that are not, that I guess wouldn't be deemed um, as what's the word I'm looking for? Like taking so much time as these current animal stickers are taking,
Hmm.
is like I'm always all about the realistic style,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I don't want to be. Like, I would love to do more what Eyes of Ashes does, what a couple, I don't remember, like Cuddles styles, like all of those Twitch artists who have a style to them that doesn't have to be a 10-hour sketch,
Yeah.
like what mine ends up being. And I feel like that can sometimes feel limiting, because like I would love to do emotes and have a Twitch stream where I draw, like, there's this girl I follow, her name is Wanderpuss
Mm.
on Twitch, and she does raffles quite often, and then she'll do sub streams as well. And if you win the raffle for saying something in chat, she'll draw your Final Fantasy character, D&D character, whatever, um, in, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. And it's like, I wish I could do something like that, but I haven't really developed a style that's not simplified, but definitely wouldn't take as long as it does to make these stickers. And I feel like that's something I definitely want to work on.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you already have a sort of like the idea of it in your head, which is that it sounds like a great path for growth, because I think that the easiest ways to grow are to sort of like take things that we already know and are comfortable with, and just branch out a little bit, because as humans we don't like huge changes. We like subtle changes. So if you're an artist and all of a sudden somebody is asking you to learn about construction work, like, you're just gonna be like, what?
What?
But like, if you're a really amazing artist, which you are, and you're just looking for like a more like chibi sort of like simplified style,
Yeah.
it seems like a great path, a great place to learn and grow. And that's one of the things that I love so much, and why I'm like so heckin' passionate about content creation, is that, one, it is just a playground of like, I can do anything I want, I can experiment with anything I want, and just see what happens. And it actually sort of requires, if you want to be successful, it requires you to constantly learn and grow and innovate. Whereas some jobs, like a lot of 9 to 5s, like, you can sit there for 40 years and press buttons on a keyboard every day, and then you retire, and then you die, and then your life's over, But like,
God.
no, I mean, like, and that,
It's so
like,
true.
I would be absolutely miserable in that. But for some people, that's the kind of life that they want to live, and that's fine. That's great. It's just not for me. And I really sort of get excited about the idea of like you saying like, hey, here's something that I'm not super strong at, but I'm really interested in. I'm like, yes, go for it, do it, go learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds
I
amazing.
mean, and you know me, and I still live by it today. Like, I am a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I changed my HOTS name to just Pyrofreeze instead of Jote,
Right.
but I'm still a jack of all trades. Like, I don't want to do all stickers. I bought a freaking, just because I was so interested in it, I bought a pyrography pen to burn into wood, and I
Mhm.
would love to branch out and do, first off, traditional art, like an actual piece of art that I can't just make a copy of,
Right.
and have that be something on the side that I could sell for a little bit extra, and then make these really amazing pieces of art, and then also do my traditional art, and then also I wish I could sew, and I wish I could, like, I always want to learn how to do everything,
Yeah.
and it's amazing to have that drive. It's also super overwhelming, Um, Same, it kind of goes back to like streaming. Like, yes, I love playing video games, but I also love animals and I love talking about them. I also love making art. It's like, what do I want to base my stream on? Because I have all these different passions.
Yeah.
So it can get overwhelming.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of the time, uh, people people sort of like want to be the expert in one thing, and they miss the opportunity to be the expert in the fusion of those things. So I think
Okay.
that you have a really unique opportunity where, like for instance, like Ramit, the reason that I'm so attracted to him, the reason that I've like bought his book and engaged in his content so much, is because he's not just a money guy, which I hate money guys. They're gross. He's a money and psychology guy. Like that's his whole brand is he combines money and psychology, and that's what sold it for me. So for you, combining the idea of animals and video games, and you already have found a way to integrate art into that, sounds like you've already got it made to me. You know, like you've already found a way to integrate these things so beautifully. And the thing that you are the thing that you are doing, the thing that I noticed in what you were talking about of like I want to do all these things is that they were all artistic related, and that's totally fine. Again, when you check out Eyes of Ashes, you'll see that on her Etsy, she makes all sorts of different crafts. She makes like little like miniature clay things. She makes drawings. She makes prints. She makes just all sorts of different stuff. Um, and she does great. She makes a living off of it. So it's totally doable. Um, and I think just like don't limit yourself, and then don't overwhelm yourself, you know, just like take one thing at a time. Say like, okay, I'm gonna learn this new thing, and that might even be a fun way to like make events out of your community. Like, okay, like this month I'm working on making woodwork, or you know, like pyro
Doing glass
pens.
blowing this
I'm
month.
I'm doing glass blowing this month, and that might be heckin' fascinating. And you might like do a horrible glass blowing of some like wolf or something, and you'll be like, you know, it's not good, but
I tried it.
it's a wolf, it's an animal, and I tried glass blowing, and I'm putting this up on Etsy, and when I'm famous, you're gonna want this crappy little wolf, so buy it now, and then you make lots of money.
Yeah, there we go. Story sold.
Yep.
One thing that, back to feeling overwhelmed by it, is, oh shoot, give me 2 seconds. Oh, we talked about it earlier, kind of when I first came back to stream. Um, it was in Twitch chat talking about like rebranding,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about possibly like changing my name and stuff like that, and having like a whole, almost like a theme to my channel.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like because I want so many different things, and yes, they are mostly artistic, but it'd be very hard to commit to a brand. Like I wouldn't want to name my channel Stickers by Pyro if I'm going to do more than just stickers, you know?
Right.
So I feel like it makes me scared to commit to a brand change or just a type of brand, since I don't know if I really have a brand yet, um, because I want so many different things.
I think you to me, it doesn't seem like you're that many things. To me, it seems like you're an animal artist that likes playing video games, especially retro video games. So already, just from that description, an animal artist that likes playing retro video games, I already see branding for like some, and like this would be a good opportunity for you to like practice some different art styles, to make branding assets for your channel, of like, you know, some cool, I don't know what your favorite animal is. I keep coming back to wolf just because I don't know why it just pops in my
Spider,
head.
come on, man.
Spider, okay,
Spider.
spider. So like some cool like 8-bit spider or something, and you could be like pyro spider, like spider pyro or something. You would have to experiment with names because you have to like check availability and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like some cool like 8-bit thing, so it like has the retro in it. and then an animal, spider, because you heckin' love spiders, and then pyro because that's like part of your identity now, and I totally get that. Like with same thing with me with tech, and I think that would be amazing. And then regardless of what you're doing, glass blowing or whatever, it's still spider pyro still is gonna work because you're probably gonna want to glass blow a. Now blowing is starting to sound suggestive. You're probably gonna want to glass blow a elephant or something,
Elephants were my first favorite animal.
See, there you go. There you go. So yeah, so I don't think it's as complicated or as like all over the places you think that it is. I think that it's just that you want to express it in a bunch of different ways,
Yes.
which is actually a good thing because you're going to need a lot of ways to express it. Like that's why Shakespeare is so powerful and popular and why he's still around today is because his work can be sort of like done in so many different ways because it's so like relatable and there's so many sort of like different ways that you can do it and interpret it that it makes it interesting. Because if it was just the exact same show every time, we would have stopped performing it hundreds of years ago. But because it has so many different interpretations, so same thing like like animal education and like art are two things that you can express in infinite different ways, and that's a good thing. That's an asset. It's not a detriment to your brand at all.
Okay.
So yeah, so like heckin' go wild, girl. Go make amazing all sorts of different, and it's such an amazing opportunity for you. I'm so excited to see this idea blossom of like you having a space that its entire purpose is sort of like I said, like a playground. Like it's this space for you to explore all of these artistic endeavors that you've never really had sort of like an audience for. Because I get it. Like when I write a diary, I always want to I always really immediately want to like go show someone my diary and be like, read my diary, and they're like, that's not what a diary is for. I'm like, but I need validation.
It's cool.
Yeah, so having a space to like finally do these things and like present these things to the world, I think it's gonna be so cool. Because clearly if these other things are anything like your art or your what you've learned about animals, clearly you do not follow the trope of a jack of all trades, that a jack of all trades is like mediocre at everything and not good at anything, because you're an incredible artist, and the amount that you know about animals and how like deeply you've dived into animals it's extensive. So
I mean, I only went to school for it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think that whatever you choose to tackle, just if past patterns continue, you're gonna heckin' rock it and make amazing things.
Thank you. Can I ask, since we're talking about like the branding and everything, it was just a very random idea that I had when, and you were there for it, when I hit my 100 followers on Twitch, thanks to Birdie. Thank you again. And to kind of congratulate that, it was very spur of the moment. I wasn't gonna do like a 24-hour stream like what a lot of people do, but instead I bring out my pet snake.
Yeah.
And I talk about snakes for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was a very spur of the moment thing, but I thought it was a really cool idea, and I wanted to do the same thing with one of my spiders. I was talking about it yesterday in stream. I've been wanting to rehouse some of my tarantulas, so put them in a new enclosure, and it's terrifying because if they escape, then you're SOL. But it could be really cool too, and I thought it would be so fun to do that on stream and have this whole discussion about tarantulas and spiders in general.
Yeah. 100%. I think that's a great idea. I think that if you and you have watched my streams, one of the strengths of my streams is that the gameplay is really, really secondary. Like the highlights of my streams are the like community, the conversations and like community interactions that we have, because ultimately that's what people are going to come back for. Is like you are your stream. The video game really doesn't matter, because if the video game was the most important part, they would just go watch gameplay videos on YouTube or whatever. Like, they don't need a streamer to watch a video game. They're not there for the video game. They're there for you. So the more that, I'm sort of slowly doing this on my own stream, the more that you can shift people away from the video game and more toward you, the better off you're going to be. Because there are many streamers that were hugely successful, and then their game died and they were forked because they had nothing else. Their audience was completely dependent upon that game. And so when that game died, they were done. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't rebuild their audience. So the more that you can shift your audience away from that and pull them in toward you and say, like, hey, you're here for, I mean, not literally, but hey, you're here for me. And like, I'm really the reason why you like enjoy watching this stream, and you can show them that, trick them into like realizing that, the better off you're going to be. Okay. And that's a great way to do it. Because it's already so enthralling. Everybody loves animals. Like, in any movie.
Even the people that didn't like snakes, they were still like fascinated about it.
Totally.
It's going back to the creepy crawlies things. Like, I love being able to educate people about why you don't need to be scared of these animals. And like, Bert's girlfriend, she cried the first time she heard that I had a snake in the house. She didn't want to come over.
Yeah.
And one drunken night, she comes into the room. She's like, Pyro, or I guess I'll just say my name, Alyssa, I kind of want to see the ball python. I was like, no way. And we talked for like an hour, and I was showing her pictures of all the snakes that they have in Mexico where she was scared of. And like, it totally like changed her outlook. And then she wanted to hold the snake, and she did, and she was petting him, and it was like a beautiful moment, being able to like totally change someone's fear into just fascination. And that's one thing I really want to do with like my community.
Yeah. And your passion for this is gonna heckin' light people up. Like, that's what that's a big thing about sort of like growing community, is that your community is you are your community. So what you get excited about, your community is going to get excited about. And you know, there are exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, it's true. So like, because you're already so passionate about this, it's just such a great tool that you're going to be able to use to continue to grow, and you're going to really enjoy doing it. Okay. One of the things that I thought about while I was peeing was that one of the things that I am just now learning, that I think it would have been a lot easier if I had learned earlier on, so I sort of want to share it with you, is one of the biggest issues with content creation in today's society is that it's such a popularized thing now that people just want to do it to do it. Like, I remember I was talking to a kindergarten teacher at one point, and she was telling me she'd been teaching for years and years and years. And she said, back in the day, when we would ask kids what they would want to be, there'd be all sorts of different answers, like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a vet, I want to, whatever. But then in recent years, she said that has shifted to, I ask, and they say, I want to be famous. And I say, well, what do you want to be famous for? And they say, I just want to be famous. Like, famous is like its own career now. And so the concept of that is, the term that I've heard used to describe it is like selfish content creation. And I think that you are already sort of like naturally swaying away from that. But I think that it's still useful to think about whenever you put out content, whether it's like a tweet, a Facebook post, a article, whatever you're putting out, YouTube video, always think about what value is this offering to my audience. And there should always be like a useful answer, like if you're like, oh, like this really doesn't do anything for my audience, it's just me whatever, it's just me whatevering, then don't put it out, because it's not worth it. I've really been struggling with that, because until just recently, I sort of thought about like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook all as sort of like tools to use to promote the main hub, which was Twitch. And what I learned in the interview with Tavasi actually is that each of those platforms are content creation platforms in and of themselves. And that like blew my mind, and I've been reeling from it ever since, and I'm still working on how the heck to do anything with that.
Yeah. I mean, is that bad?
Is it bad that I'm reeling from it?
No, that you said that each of them is their own kind of content creator.
It's not bad. It's just it's just a lot harder, at least for me, because instead of thinking about like, okay, like I just use these platforms to promote the main platform, which is sort of a very simple structure. Now I have to think about, okay, like what content am I creating for each platform? Like how am I structuring content for each platform? Now,
Right, like a Patreon has to be different from a YouTube, otherwise why would people subscribe?
well, okay, so now there is one thing here, which is that a lot of people think that in order to um, that they need to post different things to each platform. And the truth is that that's not true. And the reason why is because the windows and the audiences, the windows of time that people will see your content and the audiences on those platforms are so different that the likelihood of one person seeing both sets of the same set of content is like nil. It's insignificant. So if you are advertising something on a platform, you can advertise. You can basically do the same advertisement on both platforms, and it's insignificant the number of people that are gonna see the ad on both platforms. That's Devin Nash, by the way. So yeah, it's but it's challenging thinking about like, oh God, like I'm creating. I'm not just a Twitch streamer. I'm not just an artist. I'm not just whatever. I am all of these things. I'm like a Twitterist. I'm an Instagrammer. I'm all of these things, and that's really sort of mind-boggling and overwhelming.
It's a lot of, I guess some of them aren't as, I don't know if difficult is the right word, but like they each have their own set of responsibilities.
Right. Yeah. And figuring out what the heck those responsibilities are is a whole nother thing. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to put that in your noggin, and maybe you'll end up teaching me stuff about that because, boy, I struggle with it. It's hard. It's hard.
Well, what is it that you're struggling with? Is just knowing that they're different platforms, or
knowing what to put on those platforms. Like I have, I have my like mission statement. I have my things that I'm passionate about. I sort of like have that figured out. I have like what I'm doing down, but figuring out how to structure those messages on the different platforms can be really, really challenging. Like on most social networks, if you include a link in your social network post, Instagram doesn't even let you, but for like Twitter, if you include a link in your social network post, the algorithm will bury your post. It will show it to way less people because Twitter wants to keep more people on their site.
Wait, I got confused. So you post a Twitch link.
Yeah, any link to any
Twitter will hide.
Any link to any external website, Twitter will bury.
Ah, okay, because they want to keep people on Twitter. I was getting Twitch and Twitter confused. Okay.
For sure.
Well, that's dumb. That's annoying.
Yeah. So like a lot of you'll see like a lot of streamers, instead of saying like live on Twitch, twitch.tv/tentacletech, they'll say live on Twitch, link in bio, because that's how bad it is. It's worth making people go the extra step, which is normally a bad idea, because otherwise no one will see it because Twitter buries it.
Interesting. I'll have to remember that because I am trying to get into the habit. I haven't done it in a while, but posting on my Twitter, even though I only have 14 followers, but just to get into the habit of doing that. And I would always post my link in my post, and now I need to not.
One of the things that I just wrote a Patreon post about, actually, is that concept I was talking to you about sort of like creating a narrative out of your stream, like creating a content that, like a belief system, like a consistent belief system in your stream, and then sort of like encapsulating that on YouTube.
A cult.
Yeah, cult. That goes for everything that you do. So when you post going live posts on anywhere, it should never be, and you actually already sort of have a natural gift for this, which is great. And I imagine it's probably because you had parents that were very involved in the education system. Like me.
What do I do?
You already have very good copy, which means that when you post a going live post, you don't just say, hey, I'm going live with Team Fortress 2, come watch me, here's my link. Instead, you say, hey, I'm going live with Team Fortress 2. I'm really excited because I'm trying out this new gun today, and they just added it to the game. I think it's gonna be really cool, and you should come check it out, and I'll tell you about it. And like that is that is so much more engaging, and like the other post honestly isn't even worth posting. It just
it's the same thing as just posting your link and not posting anything with it.
It just dilutes your content. It just like people see a bunch of going live links and they're like, I don't even want to look at this Twitter, or I don't even want to look at this Instagram or whatever. So yeah.
So I'm not doing that right now.
You do not. I think I've even like the last Discord message that I sent you, like however long ago, was like, hey.
I have it right here. It was October 29th, 2018.
2018 was like, hey, you have really good copy. Good job. Keep
just said
keep
you
it up.
liked my announcements. You said they were quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always tried to do that because whether it's like something new that's happening, or like you don't just want to say what the game is, or at least you say the game, not just, hey, I'm live on Twitch.
Right.
But you want to give people a reason to come in today. Like, today is different because of this.
Yeah.
Or like when I was finishing up Ocarina of Time and we were voting to see what the next game was going to be, like having audience interaction. You know, that people always like that. So.
Totally. Yeah, and it seems like you already have really good instincts about that sort of thing. Like the fact that you just said giving people a reason to come. That's, I mean, now it sounds suggestive, but that is a concept that a lot of people do not grasp naturally that you seem to. So that's great.
Cool. One thing I was thinking about doing, okay, because the next thing I want to do, because I really do want to keep up with the stream, is I would love to start building a desktop computer, because I stream on my laptop, and it's not a bad laptop, but it definitely has its limitations. Hence, why I've kind of embraced the retro gaming, because I know my computer can handle it and stream at the same time.
Right.
I tried streaming. What did I try streaming? I don't remember, but I have tried streaming Planet Zoo in the past, and it just lags. And that's a game that I really love, and I would love to play it some more on stream. I just know that I kind of can't at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But one idea that I had that I thought would be really cute is kind of bringing in hopefully bringing in like subscriptions and stuff, is giving people the opportunity to help me design an animal habitat for them in Planet Zoo based off an animal that they pick.
Yeah.
You know, it's Planet Zoo. I don't know if you've seen any gameplay of it. It's very detailed, and there's so many animals you can pick, and like someone that subscribes, all right, pick an animal, here's the list of animals, help me build a habitat. And it just kind of makes people like excited and stuff, and it goes back into, I can start educating about that animal, we're playing a game, and then it's getting more viewership.
Yeah,
So I thought
absolutely.
that was a really good idea.
Totally. Yeah. And one of the things that like a lot of the big advice, like streaming advice channels talk about, is that they get just like bombarded with emails. Like it's a very common thing of new streamers where they get the people get these emails of new streamers with just like this like laid out plan of like, here's like everything I'm planning to, I have this massive plan to do for my channel. And then like the message that the like stream advice person has to write back is like, yeah, like try, I don't know, try it, you know.
Yeah.
So just because of the nature of content creation, it really is sort of a playground. Like just like go crazy, try everything. What the one thing that comes to mind about that is like, um, there's a couple things. The first is, uh, get the like think about some incentives to like raising money for the computer first, so that you can, I mean, you already have that idea, but so that you can also make it exciting for raising money for the computer. And then the other piece is thinking about when to invest in equipment versus when to invest in things that are going to grow your stream. So like, um, the time to invest in equipment is when it's your stream sort of like isn't able to function without that equipment, or when you've taken care of everything else, which is like much later down the line. But so like in your case, you are severely limited to like only being able to play like, 8-bit games or whatever because
Yeah.
your computer. So like raising money for a computer seems like a good idea, but like a lot of the time what'll happen is like when people sort of get that influx um, of support, they will be like, okay, like I'm gonna get like new headphones, I'm gonna get new monitors, I'm gonna get new mic and all sorts of things that they don't really need. And instead, they could put that money into like hiring. Well, a lot of people would have to hire an artist, but you don't have that problem. Hiring like a editor, like for your YouTube videos, getting somebody
Okay.
who's like really good at editing, or like whatever, taking some like professional classes to learn more about like business or whatever. Like all of those things are better investments that are going to last you longer than something like headphones or something. Um,
Right.
yeah,
Smart. Because like Snake has said, I could use his computer for streaming, and I know his can handle it, obviously.
yeah,
But then I'm limited to his schedule in a sense because
because he uses his
he
computer.
likes to, yeah, he likes to play his games and stuff. One thing I've been wanting to do, and I think it's uh, kind of preventing me from starting my art streams, is I can't really stream in my room very well because my desk is very small. It's crowded. I got crap everywhere, and so I'd have to clean everything off and then set up an art stream. But I did buy a desk that is now downstairs, and it's an L-shaped desk, so I can have my computer stuff on one side and then the desk on the other side. And I bought one of
Cleavage.
oh, whatever. I'm in a bra. I brought one of these things so I can put my webcam on and then I can face my webcam straight down. Like I feel like that'd be a good like is a good first start to being able to do an
Yeah,
art stream.
yeah,
And then the other thing that stops me is when like Devin gets home from work, whenever he gets home, and he wants to play his games, he's playing with friends. He's using his mic. He's being loud. Like Devin, he's very loud.
yeah.
But so it makes me not want to stream when he's here because I feel like I don't want to limit him from wanting to play games with his friends and stuff because he's had a long day at work. But then, and then I feel like I get self conscious. Like back to the whole confidence thing. I'm subconscious about streaming when he's sitting right here. Like I'd much rather be downstairs where I kind of have my own space, um, and then I can do all that. So I feel like I have a lot of temporary limitations to what I want to do for stream that I feel like I can very easily fix.
It sounds like a lot of these would be fixed by creating a schedule. And I know that your work right
True.
now kind of makes that difficult, but if you
Yeah.
could sit down and look at your work schedule and look at Devin's schedule and say, okay, like here are the times that are open slots that I feel like I could stream. I want to like reserve these and like talk to him about the concerns of like, I don't want you making lots of noise, or like, and obviously
Right.
I need your computer during these times. And just like, come to an agreement about it, because that's what I've done with Birdie. Like obviously people who aren't in relationships have an advantage in that they don't have to like worry about another person. Not that obviously relationships don't have their advantages,
Right.
but we do. So like coordinating with the other person is going to be really important in terms of like building your schedule. And building your schedule is on Twitch absolutely essential. On YouTube, little less essential. Like you want to post regularly, but like don't even worry about that yet. Just worry about like putting out quality content first. Just like worry about like figuring out like what does well. But like on Twitch, absolutely essential that you build a schedule, even if it's only 1 or 2 days a week. And I know right now you have 1 day a week,
One day a week, except I did stream very spontaneously yesterday, and
and
that
that's
felt
great.
really good just to kind of just do that.
And that's great, yeah, because then you can just say like, hey, like bonus stream, and it's exciting.
Right.
But yeah, but the more like if you can sit down with Snake and see if there are any other slots that you'd like to squeeze another stream into, that'd be great. Um,
Yeah.
the meta has changed a little bit. It used to be you could stream for 12 hours a day every day and like grind it, and like eventually you would get partnered just from doing that. Nowadays, um, that is no longer the case. In fact, it is less advantageous to stream more. It is more advantageous to stream less and focus more on creating content that is on discoverability platforms like YouTube and Twitter and things like that.
Is it just because Twitch is just so flooded with all these other streamers that are barely starting out, and they're the ones that try to do the 12-hour streams or
No,
more
actually.
significant? So,
I mean, the reason that you can't get discovered is partially because there are so many people on the platform. But the bigger reason, the bigger problem with Twitch is that there is no engine for discoverability on Twitch. Twitch is essentially an Excel sheet of streams sorted by game, and that's it. Like you just look down a list and choose a streamer. Whereas on every other platform, like YouTube, like Twitter, like all of these other platforms, there are algorithms made for discoverability. So like for YouTube, they have specific algorithms in place that will promote your video to more people for you, so that more people find your video, more people find you, more people subscribe, and you can grow your community. Twitch doesn't have anything like that. They have some very recent features like the recommended feature that isn't doing a whole lot yet, and they may get better, but honestly right now I wouldn't trust Twitch to do anything for you. Like I wouldn't even trust Twitch to send notifications to people that you're live. I would build a house elsewhere to let people know that. Like Devin Nash, he uses the @everyone tag, but he only uses it when he goes live. So that yeah, I'm a Devin Nash fanboy, 100%. He only uses it when he goes live, so that people don't mute his Discord. Because
oh, I see.
people always mute the @everyone tag.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would not trust Twitch as a place to house your content or to house your brand or to build like to build your brand. Twitch is like it's sort of like until they improve it, until they fix all these like DMCA issues and all the issues that they're having right now, Twitch is sort of like a special feature of your brand where you can be like, hey, guess what, everyone? You can come hang out with me live for this like special event. Like that's almost the degree to what Twitch is now,
Wow.
because it's just such a horrible place to build a brand, to house a brand. It's just Twitch is really messing up right now. Um, so yeah, um, that's the end of that sentence.
So that's why it'd be good to get started on like all these other platforms, so that if more stuff goes down with Twitch, you you're already covered
Yeah.
all your bases
And
Yeah,
honestly,
be
oh my
somewhere
god,
else.
like if I had started a YouTube at like the way that I am now, back when like Snake and I started streaming together, oh my god, my life would be so different right now. My life would be so different right now. It's insane.
Yeah.
Although we did get on Twitch like right at the end of the period where like it was you were still able to be discovered on Twitch. So like a lot of the
Oh wow.
growth that I've cultivated is because I've been streaming for so long that I've managed to.
You kind of know what to do.
Well, no, not even that. It's just that I managed to like slip in there to like sort of like grab enough people to like take with me that now I'm able to sort of have like a foothold on Twitch. But it's really difficult. It's really difficult. But yeah, I oh god, it's so exciting for me to think about you starting with all this. This is like amazing. Like
Yeah.
when I transitioned from Snake Tech to Tentacle Tech, um, even that was really exciting with all the things that I learned from Snake Tech, being able to apply that and start from the beginning with that on Tentacle Tech, and then I've learned infinitely more since.
Right.
So now, like you starting with all this knowledge,
All of your knowledge.
it's so exciting. Even if you only take like even if you only even
I
if
just
you
want the list.
only
That's all I'm gonna remember.
even if you only like create a home for your content like Discord or something, and you take a couple things from Eyes of Ashes, even that I think will be amazing.
No, and I think being able to talk about this and get these ideas and kind of flesh out, like you said, like a step-by-step plan, like it makes me that much more excited
Yeah,
knowing that I have a chance at doing this and
yeah.
um, being successful. I feel really
Now I want to make the list better. Uh, okay, so create a home for content.
Yes,
Check out Eyes of Ashes.
got her open.
Create a YouTube. And by the way,
Okay, do you?
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Creating, I just find, and maybe you'll find different, but I find being live is so much easier for me than making content on YouTube. I've already grown a lot in terms of like sort of like my presence on camera when I'm making a video. But like when I first started out, like I'd be streaming and Birdie would be like, "Shh, like you're so loud, oh my god!"
My
And then I
goodness.
would go on YouTube and I'd be like, "Hi everyone,
Hey.
I just really think that you should check out my Patreon because it's really good." And I think, and it was just, it was such an adjustment for me learning to make pre-recorded content because I don't get to like vibe off of the audience.
Yeah.
Sort of like live theater versus like movies or something.
True. I was gonna say, since I'm gonna make a YouTube, should I, until I get a new name, if I decide to change my name, should I do it before or after? Or is it easy to change your name on YouTube?
when are
Like
you when are you gonna make that decision, I guess, is my
the
question.
YouTube decision or the name
The
decision?
name decision.
Well, I haven't really found or thought about a name that I would be happy changing it to because, like I said, like Pyro is me. The
Yeah.
freeze part is kind of also me, you know? The number is just my birthday, so like it doesn't matter. That was just there just to have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, while it's not, yes, it's who I am, but it might not really be who I'm trying to be. You know, if I'm all about animals and art, then yeah, definitely doesn't reflect it. But I feel like maybe the name doesn't, a Twitch and a YouTube name don't really have to reflect that at all.
They
Like I
don't.
have my art page as my full name and then just art after that. And that's actually on my Twitch, so like there's nothing personal or nothing hidden about my personal uh info and what I'm trying to do with my art and my Twitch name,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe I don't need to change my name
Yeah.
if I'm
That's
happy with
true.
it.
I mean, it sounds like it sounds like you just solved the problem for yourself. So like go make
All
your
right, time
YouTube
to
if
make
you
a
want to.
YouTube.
Yeah.
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 Cool. Yeah, I feel like for you, it worked for you changing your name to Tentacle Tech because that's kind of what you base your brand around.
Yeah.
But I feel like it doesn't need to be like that. What's Eyes of like? I don't know, Eyes of Ashes. Maybe you'll know. Like, why is her name Eyes of Ashes? What does it have to do with what she streams or posts about?
She thought it
Or is
was
it just her
really.
name?
She thought it was really like cool and like mysterious and like emo when she was like 12, and so
Okay.
that was her name. Still
Exactly.
is. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not. By no means is it necessary. The way that I sort of think about with everything when it comes to content creation is like you can theoretically be successful doing anything. It's just that there are certain sort of like things that a lot of the time it has been shown in the past that make it a little bit easier. And so no one is going to do all of those things because it's just too vast of a field. Like it would be overwhelming and exhausting. And so you pick and choose the ones that work for you.
And you're saying that one of those things that could make you more successful is having a name.
Not more
Actually,
successful. It's just it can be easier because, like, for instance, a name that people don't necessarily know how to spell right away, a name that has like numbers that people have to remember, like all of those factors, any factor that makes it harder for people to find you, any like extra steps that people have to go through is like taking away an opportunity for people to find your stream. So this is just sort of like a general marketing principle. When you market something, you want it to be as easy as humanly possible for the consumer to get what you're trying to get them to get. Because any extra steps that they have to go through, you're losing customers.
Since you brought that up, I just decided to look up my name on Twitch.
Yeah.
But without the numbers, and
Yeah.
it doesn't look like it's actually taken. So maybe I'll just get rid of the numbers.
Take
and
it.
Just have, because Pyro Freeze, it's a very. I feel like that could become a very easy name. It's Pyro, it's Freeze, Fire
Yeah.
and Ice.
Yeah.
And
And it's also really cool. I mean, like if you did decide that you wanted to, like base at least some of your branding around that, it's a very brandable name, Pyro Freeze.
I'm gonna see if I can change it right now. It's just very spontaneous.
Yeah, do it. Go. Whereas like Snake Tech was a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
A little bit tougher to brand for.
And then 88.
And then 88, well, that was my fault. The 88 was my fault. We probably could have gotten Snake Tech in the beginning.
Just Snake Tech, yeah. Gosh. New username. Let's do it. Should I do... Oh, no, it's not available. What? Never mind.
Cry.
It's not available.
Cry.
Oh, but Pyro Freeze, just a 5 is available.
Yeah.
I don't want just a 5.
No, not worth changing your name to keep a number in there.
What about, apparently Pyro_Freeze is a thing, but that's an extra thing, something people have to remember.
I still think it's better than Pyro Freeze, whatever your birthday
Even
is.
My birthday. Somehow Pyro Freezy was taken. Should I really do Pyro Freeze? With an underscore?
I mean, girl, it's completely up to you.
Do you think it's a better...
I think that Pyro_Freeze is a much, like, nicer aesthetic than Pyro Freeze 5, 7, 9, 8, or whatever it is.
It's 3, okay. They're all odd numbers. They wake up my birthday. Okay, I'm gonna do it. It's so spontaneous. Boop.
Pyro Freeze, you heard it here first, folks. Pyro Freeze has changed her name.
Oh my gosh, I'm no longer a number.
You're just Pyro Freeze.
I kind of like it.
It's kind of
Which means
sexy,
my
right?
Yeah, my emotes might be different now. Oh no, wait.
No, I think your
Maybe I
emote
can
extensions
change
will
it.
be the same.
It says I can update it.
You can update the ends of your emote names, but the extension that Twitch assigns you should remain the same. Like all of my emotes start with 10 tac 6 which by the way I hate.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, mine's Pyrofra 2. I don't
sucks.
like it because yeah, it goes back to having to remember it. Like I wouldn't want to type that out and then type in the actual emote
Yeah,
name. I would just want to go find it. You
yeah.
know?
And when I mean that's one of the advantages to becoming partner, but that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be partnered forever.
Listen, girl, we got to work on that confidence of yours.
I know. Like sometimes I'm like super confident. Like I remember when I was first making my stickers, because I was first making them and I wasn't expecting to sell them. I'd make it and be like, "Oh my god, this is so cool! Everybody, come look at this!" And now it's like maybe it's when other people boost my like talk me up, then I'm just like, "No, no, I'm not."
Yeah,
It's like
I think. I
backwards.
mean, I think that really comes down to uh, the stigma in our society that like we're not supposed to be like prideful, like the pride goeth before the fall or whatever crap. But like,
Yeah.
if you're really good at something, and somebody says, "Hey, you're really good at this thing," like it's totally okay to be like, "Thank you. I work really hard on that." Like on my
Mhm.
stream, when I like walk back to get a hat, and somebody says like, "Dang,
Ooh, nice butt.
that booty thick," I'm like, "Thank you. I work 5 days a week on that boy." Like, so I that's there was a really profound moment that happened for me um, during one of my sort of like hiatuses from stream where I was like just like consistently getting burnt out to the point where like Zombie had messaged me at one point and he was like, "Dude, like your burnouts are so regular now that I can like predict them. It's like they're like a pattern."
Oh.
Um, and and so there was really this profound moment during one of my burnouts where all of a sudden Birdie shifted something in my head about how I perceived myself physically that made me actually enjoy how I look and like think I'm really attractive. And since then, my entire life has just sort of been falling into place. Um, and I've always been pretty confident about my personality, but I think that sort of like ragging on yourself in any fashion is sort of toxic. Like it spreads, and
Oh
so
yeah.
even though I was really confident about my personality, because I never had confidence in my looks, it always would leach over to like other places and cause problems elsewhere. Um, and so it's something that is a part of the like belief system that I'm building around my stream, which is that I really work hard on boosting people's physical and mental confidence because it is it is almost preferred in our society that we not celebrate ourselves, that we not be confident in who we are. It's almost preferred that like we're like, "Oh, like no, I'm not," or like sort of like the like people who never sleep. Like what is sleep? Like that's like a joke in our society. Everyone's like, "You sleep? What?" Um, but like that's like an essential function. That's essential to functioning as a human being. So like similarly, like being confident in who you are is so important and something that we just don't seem to like work on for people at all. Like we don't practice that at all, and we just let people sort of like insult themselves all the time. I think it causes way more problems than most people acknowledge.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think there's definitely a difference between um, being confident in yourself and being like almost like narcissistic.
Right.
But I feel like everyone should be confident in themselves to some extent, whether it's physically or you're confident in a skill that you have or just your ability to be funny and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like yeah, it's just it's mainstream to look down on yourself or to when somebody does compliment you to deny it.
Right.
Like
Mainstream is a
I'm trying to
good a
think
good
like
word for it.
yeah, yeah, and I'm trying to think like I don't think I was ever raised. A lot of women are raised. If the guy tells you you're beautiful, you're supposed to be like, oh no, I'm not, he. And
Yeah.
if you actually say thanks, I know I am, then it's like I'm not interested in a girl like and a woman like that.
Right.
I don't think I was ever raised like that. I think I was raised to have a lot of like self confidence.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that I still feel like that
I mean, it's
sometimes.
it is systemic. Uh,
Yeah,
so like you were raised in a society where that is the norm. So it makes sense that
yeah,
it would still sort of be part of the part of you.
yeah,
But I do think that one big advantage that you had that I think most people don't is that, and I don't obviously know your dad as well as you do, but I think that your dad is a very, very good man.
oh yeah,
Um, and I think that those are incredibly rare in our society today.
yeah,
So I think that's a huge plus.
yeah. I
Um,
think being raised in a family of girls,
mm,
you know, you can't tell your daughter to act that way and expect her to turn out okay. Like you'd be telling all of your daughters that,
mm.
and then to have like Amanda, I don't know if you follow her on Instagram. I think I shared her stuff earlier. She's all about like sex positivity and like relation like just everything good, like just everything great. She's all about it, and so she's all about like self confidence and stuff. And
Yeah,
so and she's never gonna take shit from anyone
yeah.
or crap from anyone. So I feel like
You can curse. It's fine.
okay, good. I've been trying not to this whole time.
Oh no, you're fine.
I feel like having someone like that who's positive and like Lori's very much um, not taking crap from anyone either. I
Yeah,
mean, like we're all very strong in our own way,
totally.
and so it helps to have people to like back you up. That's like why I think why Amanda messaged me in the first place, was she wanted to see what I was
She
worth,
wanted to
to see
empower
that I
you.
was worth it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
empowering. That's exactly the word.
yeah. And I think you should empower yourself as well. I think that the question that you really, and I mean I would even ask her this of like I I I would say something along the lines of like I do make money from this, and that money that I make is beneficial to me, like very beneficial to me. Um, so like I agree with what you're saying, and what price do you think that I could actually sell these at? Um, and the thing is like if you let's say that you shift your target market a little bit and you say, okay, I'm gonna sell to like a premium audience. I'm gonna say these are high quality art products that I'm selling for $30 a print or whatever. Uh, and then you don't sell anything, then you just adjust it and you say, hey, now I'm releasing this product for this much, and then you see if that sells. Um, and again, like that's sort of the cool advantage that you have with entrepreneurial work that you don't have with a job. At a job, they like show you what to do and you're expected to do it or you get in trouble. Here, it sucks that nobody shows you what to do, but at the same time, you can do anything you want and just see what happens. And the only sort of like rules are capitalism of
Yeah.
like did it sell or not? No? Okay, well then you didn't do it right. Try again.
Yeah, yeah. I think going back to like the whole confidence thing, I think I'm just scared to take risks like that, or to back out from what I know is working,
Yeah.
which is not worth my money, worth my time, but try something new that might actually be successful. I just have to take that risk.
Yeah. And I think that that is what holds uh anyone who is like most people who are not successful, most people who don't make a lot of money in their lifetime, I think that that's what holds a large majority of them back is that they're too afraid to try. Um, like who just like starts up a stream playing Hearthstone? Like that's weird. No one was doing that. That was weird
Yeah,
that I did that.
what's
And
Twitch?
then I did it, and it's become like this. Like I've been doing it for 5 years now. It's become like a huge passion for me, and something that I like spend a lot of my time doing, and it has, like it literally helps me pay bills and groceries now. Um, so like taking those risks is absolutely really scary, But what's cool is that when you really break it down, when you really think about it, there's actually not a whole lot at risk in this situation.
Yeah, you might waste a little bit of time if it doesn't work out, but
Right.
you learned what it is you liked or didn't like about it, and
Right.
that's the end of that. It's like learning a new skill. Like I keep talking about all these new things I want to try, but I haven't tried them for the sake of wasting time if I don't like it or if it doesn't turn out good. That's one thing that I realized that I've not been enjoying about making art is I have it in my head that like yes I do like to make art, but if it's not good enough, like I don't like doing sketches. I don't like doodling anymore because I feel like in the back of my head I'm like this is great because I get to practice and it's improving on my art skill. But at the same time it's like if this isn't going to translate into anything that uh, people are going to want to see more of or I could sell, then what's the point, you know? But it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's all just it's all learning, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if like I bought this pyrography pen and I finally try it and it's something I end up not liking, then there's a waste of $30 and however many hours I spent.
But
But
you already bought it, so if you don't do it
I
at
bought it.
all, then it's
Exactly.
definitely a waste of 30
I
bucks.
know. I know.
Yeah.
So
At
yeah.
least if you like try it out on stream and then you don't like it, at least it was content. Like you made content. And that's one of the
Yes.
really cool things about content creation is it is an opportunity for you to do things that otherwise would be a waste of time. And instead of being a waste of time, they are content that you just made.
Yeah, it's still a way for people to find you or for your viewers to currently watch you or you to get a subscription because people do like that you're trying new things and it is art that they enjoy.
Right.
Then people can come in and be like, "Oh, I also do wood burning or I'm interested in doing it. How do you like it so far?" It's like it's better to do that than to do it by yourself and
Yeah.
be like,
And I mean, look at how successful that idea of trying new things was for Markiplier, right? Markiplier just did his whole
"Yeah,
like YouTube channel thing with the other guy. I know very little about it, but I know enough to know that they were trying a bunch of new things and it was
yeah.
huge and no one had ever really done anything like that before. And then they deleted their channel and like it's like this huge
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm
I
hearing
haven't seen
about it.
it, but
I'm hearing about it. Everyone is talking about it. So like, yeah, try new things. Try new things. I think that I am gonna call. It's about we've been interviewing for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So I think
that's awesome.
I think I am gonna call it here.
That's
Um,
fine.
but I hope I'll send you this. I'll send you these notes that I've taken. They're a little hot slapdash. That's the word I'm looking for. They're a little slapdash. But any questions you have, let me know, and I'll be happy to talk with you about them. But I hope it helps, and I look forward to like maybe we can do like a like 6 months from now or something. We can like check back in and
That'd be awesome.
see what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Thank you so much for offering to do this. Like I still feel like I have a lot of thinking to do just based off my stickers and that's what kind of started this whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's helped me like flesh out what I want to do long term with a lot of stuff and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, and I think that, like I said, I think that the more that you sort of give yourself a structure for what you're doing, the easier it's going to be for you to make that decision about your stickers. Um, uh, so that's all I got. I had something else, but I forgot.
Well, I wanted to say one thing, and you can totally edit this out. It doesn't matter for the
No.
video, but I just wanted to say I'm really glad I like came back to the channel and
Oh, well,
started
thank
talking.
you.
I was
I'm glad that you did too. I
I was
go ahead.
okay. I was just gonna say I was talking to Snake about it. How I think this was the second or third time that I've come back to. First time was when with you guys were still together, but like this is the second time I think that
Yeah.
I've come back to you and like obviously like I cherish our friendship.
Ditto.
Yeah, that's all.
Ditto. Yeah. No, I'm really glad too. I was thinking about it the other day when you and Snake came into the channel together.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's been quite a journey. Quite a journey. And I know that I know that I've made a lot of mistakes along the way and learned a lot along the way. So uh, it's cool that people like you and Snake and Kirby and Mebeam and people like that are still, and Puppy like are still around. Like that's crazy. It's crazy. Like 5 years later that people are still around. So yeah, so I really cherish that too, and I appreciate you for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna hang up on you now. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Bye, Tech. Thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Of course, I hope it's helpful, and
Yeah.
who knows, maybe this'll. Oh, okay. I remember the other thing I was going to talk about before I hang up on you. So the other thing I was going to talk about is just really funny because when you sent me that message where you were like, "Do you think like we could talk more about this?" and like my Patreon, like I've been thinking about it and blah blah blah.
Yes.
I had to think for quite a while because my first thought, my first instinct that came into my head was like, this is a perfect parallel of what she's going through right now, of like really wanting to provide a service for somebody, like making stickers, and at the same time also really wanting to value my time, because like stream coaching is like, oh my god, it is such a huge heckin' time suck. Like,
What do you mean
stream coaching, like
literally coaching something?
yeah, like saying like, here's how you can build your stream, here's how to improve your stream, here's what you should do differently in your stream, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. Like, it's such a huge time suck, and like people charge like up the wazoo for heckin' stream coaching. And so I was thinking about it, and I was like, what should I like try to like, because I've tried to start up like stream coaching things before and they've never worked out, like, and no one ever bid, like, I don't know. And then I was like, oh, this is the perfect, and that's what brought up the idea of like, there are definitely things that you can sort of like trade for exposure that are like worth that like price, so to speak. And one of them is like education. And so like I was like, oh, like I can do an interview and like make content out of this that'll be really useful for a lot of people, because a lot of people have these like same ideas and questions and things. And
I'm gonna share it on whatever platforms I have. So.
and yeah, and I think it'll be great. So when I thought of that, I was like, oh, that's perfect. So then I wrote you about it, and I was excited. I was excited to have thought of it, because.
And yeah, and I only wanted to talk about it in like just a couple texts form, like kind of how we started the conversation, and then to go straight into an interview, which ended up being a 2.5-hour interview. Like I really appreciate it. I will pay you in stickers if you'd like.
No, and that, by the way, that is not what I was trying to suggest at all. Is that I'm looking for some sort of payment. The opportunity to like make content out of this and like get these ideas out and sort of like, I don't know, showcase what expertise I do have is exciting, because I don't get to do that often. I don't often have the opportunity to take somebody that is so like so new. Like you really are sort of like a blank canvas at this point, and so it's really cool being able to be like, here's sort of what I envision your portrait looking like, or your painting looking like, and then you being able to take that and go like, okay, like I'll take that into consideration, and then I later down the road get to see like what the painting actually comes out looking like, and it'll be exciting.
Yeah. Like I said at the beginning, it went from an interview to a therapy session, but it literally interviewed to, like low-key is stream coaching.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that it didn't hopefully come off like preachy or or anything like that.
Not at all.
All right. Well.
Okay. Now you can hang up.
I'm gonna touch you with my tentacles.
Lovingly though.
But lovingly though, and then I'm gonna hang up on you.
Okay. Bye, Tech.
All right. Bye, Pyro.
Thanks again.
Mm.
Bye.